Hello. After 8 days of the snow, for some of us, it's not over yet. After another difficult day today, there's more snow on the way.
Essex was hardest hit with 20 centimetres of snow in the past 24 hours. More than 600 schools have been closed, most of them in Essex, and trains have been running reduced services right across the region. Mike Liggins is at Colchester Station now. Mike.
Hello, Susie. Yes, it's been snowing on and off here in Essex most of the day. The temperature is now down to about -2. I just got off the phone from National Express East Anglia, and they admit that they have had delays and cancellations today, but say that most routes are now running smoothly. Also just had a word with some people who've just got off the train from London. They said the journey has taken about half an hour longer, a bit slower, but they seemed relatively happy. Here's Alex Dunlop on what's been happening today.
Driving to work in Essex, shots from our cameraman Steve Huntley as he battled through the morning snow. Hours earlier, blizzard conditions on the nearby A12. Look East viewer Martin Oakley mounted a camera in his black cab. The milk run made it to this infant school, but those who'd hoped to drink it didn't. Across Essex, 590 nurseries, schools and colleges closed their gates. But not this one. The head teacher, the one on the sledge, says that's down to her staff.
We've had 100% attendance from the staff, and they come in this morning, 7 o'clock, and we've cleared all the pathways to make it safe for the children.
Train companies across the region have been affected by the white stuff. Most are running a revised timetable with reduced services.
Tower Marshallate Alpha starts to Norwich.
But at Cambridge Airport, business as usual. Snow elsewhere in the UK has had a knock-on effect on flights into Luton and Norwich.
We've, over the last couple of days, seen a number of diversion flights in, and I dare say later on today and tomorrow we're going to see more diversions as well.
For 2 days, pensioners and this road in Norfolk have been surrounded by sheet ice. Fresh snow today meant they could finally venture out.
We've had a complete sheet of ice, and to get up to the top of the crescent, we've got to negotiate a rather steep bend. It means that you just can't hold your car steady enough to get round that corner.
But no snow doesn't mean no problems. Residents at this caravan park in Northampton have been without water for 5 days. Underground pipes have frozen, then fractured.
Nearest toilet is a 5-minute drive in the vehicle, so we're all meeting down at the main stream, filling our buckets up to put down our lavatories for when we've been to the toilet.
It's hampered by freezing conditions. Our men are working up until around 2 a.m. in the morning. We've got some specialist leak detection help with us to try and help us track them.
This afternoon, gritters across the region headed out again on their now familiar routes, with the big freeze set to continue. Alex Dunlop, BBC Look East.
Just to update you on the school situation in Essex, we're hearing that 214 schools have already said they're going to close tomorrow. As far as the situation on the trains is concerned, National Express East Anglia say they are anticipating running a full service, but obviously it depends on what happens overnight. There is a hotline number that you can phone. It's 0845 301 7641. Back to you.
Thanks, Mike.
There's a warning tonight that anyone sleeping rough at the moment is putting their life at risk. The warning comes from staff at a homeless shelter in Chelmsford. Usually it's only open during the day, but now 9 people will be able to stay warm and dry through the night as well.
And we've been getting very kind donations so far with hats, gloves, scarves, etc, etc. People absolutely struggle, and they will always try to struggle through. That's the British way. To be comfortable, I think, is at least to have respite from the cold, like most of us would have with our own home.
But Ron hasn't got his own home. At least he can get a hot meal here. Now he can spend the night here too. A lifesaver when it's freezing outside.
It's very cold, very cold. You get fingertips freezing up, toes get cold and wet, and they need to dry out. Yeah, it's a very difficult time really. You see everyone, they're out shopping and buying their Christmas presents, and they're with their family, and you sort of feel a bit left on your own.
But the volunteers working in the kitchen want them to feel cared for, and it's not just cheese on toast.
They need somewhere where they can come in and dry off. We've got, you know, tumble dryer and washing equipment, because when you're cold, morale goes down. They get support here. You know, if you're walking around in the streets, you're just a nobody.
You used to have the churches open, but now they shut the churches down now. So they've got to go in doorways or whatever so they can find some warmth.
The centre relies on donations from the public.
We have all sorts of veg that they've given us. Soup, obviously, especially in the cold weather, goes down ever so well.
And it helps keep people like Ron warm and safe. Gareth George, BBC Look East.
Stadium MK said tonight England's bid to host the World Cup has achieved fantastic things for the town. Despite losing out in the first round of voting, with Russia winning the bid, those involved from Milton Keynes say it's elevated the town to the national stage. Jonathan Park is there now.
Yes, Susie, there's no hiding the frustration here, though, that really the England World Cup bid and not getting the World Cup has been a big sense of disappointment from football fans here in Milton Keynes to obviously around the country, really. But what they can say is that they've been part, the first time in Milton Keynes' history, been part of a national campaign to get a world event. So they were beaten today, England and Milton Keynes, but certainly Milton Keynes can hold its head high.
It's an annual event at Stadium MK, waiting for a big announcement. Last year it was to become a host city. Today it was to see if England would be given the nod to stage the 2018 World Cup.
How do you think it's going to go?
I think we're all scared to say. Listen, I think if what they did this morning isn't enough, I don't think we'll ever be enough. But I thought they were magnificent. The speakers and the presentation was outstanding.
When England last hosted the World Cup, Milton Keynes didn't even exist. Among the guests, a former World Cup finalist, Don's player coach Didier Hamann. With the tension building, it was announced there was a delay. But then the news filtered through, unconfirmed at first, that football was not coming home. Soon FIFA President Sepp Blatter spoke, and the words weren't kind.
So the 2018 FIFA World Cup, 2018 FIFA World Cup, ladies and gentlemen, will be organised in Russia.
It's hugely disappointing. No, you can't get away from that. I think we can be pleased that we got so far. That is for Milton Keynes. But you couldn't be anything other than massively despondent for England.
So no need for a £60 million investment, but the stadium will still increase to 32,000 within 18 months. Small consolation for the people of Milton Keynes.
Milton Keynes would have been a good place to come. Awful. I got a miserable drive home now.
I think it's probably a big disappointment to the whole of the country. I would have thought that would have been a great thing to have, you know, the games come to England. Probably a lot of revenue to be generated from that's now gone down the pan.
Win or lose, the fireworks were due to go off. They probably shouldn't have bothered. But Milton Keynes has come a long way in a short space of time. From football oblivion to the world stage, but not quite the World Cup finals.
It's also bad news for the region, really, because there were training bases planned for Ipswich and Norwich and Luton and Northampton if the bid was successful. Sadly, it's not. Pete Winkelman is with me, MK Dons chairman. You said straight away, what a pity, but you must have wanted to say something stronger.
Well, Jonathan, at first, have to be really disappointed, along with the nation. I mean, I think we fought a good fight. Very proud of the efforts that were made on the nation's behalf by everybody involved in Zurich, but we could see at the end of the day it didn't have the effect that we hoped it would. But, you know, I understand that Russia have never had a World Cup. You know, we know how important these things are, and I wish them every success with it in 2018.
And you get to keep your roof, don't you, as well? Because if you had to expand the stadium, then the roof would come off and that'd be more money.
Jonathan, I mean, that's one of the good sides of it. We can go, at least now we know the plans to finish the stadium. We know what we've got to do. The roof stays on, and that means we go to 32,000, and we'll do that just as soon as possible, hopefully within the next 2 years. And all of those plans remain. I think the journey that we've been on, the contacts that we've made, you know, working with the other cities, London, Birmingham, Manchester, Liverpool, you know, that's been a great experience for Milton Keynes. And as you say, a really good thing for the region that we've been there, we've fought a good fight. It feels like we've lost again on penalties.
Very quickly, should England go for a World Cup bid again?
Well, I think we have to, because we won a World Cup. You know, who knows what will happen between the next time. It's probably going to be, 2030 or something before we'll get the chance again. And who knows the way that these things will develop over time. But I certainly would be up for it, because if it's going to be coming, we want it in Milton Keynes.
Pete, thank you very much. Well, we'll hand you back to the studio from a very cold Stadium MK.
Thank you very much, Jonathan.